El siguiente es un paper que se llama Civic Honesty Around the Globe. Es un paper acerca de economía conductual de Cohn, Michael André Maréchal, David Tannenbaum y Christian Lucas Zünd. Este es un paper que ha rebotado bastante dentro de estas noticias interesantes, porque hacen un experimento donde dejan extraviada una billetera con cierta cantidad de dinero e incluso sin dinero, y evalúan en 355 ciudades de 40 países si las personas son honestas y devuelven la billetera o no. Entonces, con ello se construye una gráfica muy interesante. Les invito a que vean el paper. Pero a mí me llamó la atención porque Perú aparece en los últimos lugares. O sea, Perú sería el país que tiene el más bajo nivel de honestidad, donde las personas, al encontrarse una billetera, deciden no devolverla y se quedan, a pesar de que esa billetera no tiene grandes cantidades de dinero, solamente tienen entre 0 y 10 dólares. Lo cual muestra una de las conclusiones también importantes, esto me acabo de recordar, es que a medida que hay más dinero en la billetera, las personas tienden a ser más honestas, es decir, lo devuelven. Esto parece un poco irónico y contraproducente porque debería ser lo contrario, ¿no? Si hay más dinero, la gente debería quedárselo, debería tener más incentivos para no retornar estos billetes. Pero acá la evidencia empírica muestra que, basándose en este experimento, las personas tienden, y según el paper, lo llama esto como un patrón en el cual las personas tienden a sentirse culpables e inclusive pueden caer o sea, tienen miedo a incurrir en algún tipo de delito y prefieren devolver la billetera al dueño. En este caso, dentro de la billetera ellos dejaban algunos artículos, inclusive llaves, e inclusive un correo electrónico para que la persona pueda ponerse en contacto con el dueño y lo pueda retornar. Bueno, con ustedes el siguiente paper. Civic Honesty Around the Globe. Research from Science Magazine by Cohn, Michael André Maréchal, David Tannenbaum, and Christian Lucas Zünd. Behavioral Economics. Civic honesty is essential to social capital and economic development, but is often in conflict with material self-interest. We examine the trade-off between honesty and self-interest using field experiments in 355 cities spanning 40 countries around the globe. In these experiments, we turned in more than 17,000 lost wallets containing varying amounts of money at public and private institutions, and measured whether recipients contacted the owners to return the wallets. In virtually all countries, citizens were more likely to return wallets that contain more money. Neither non-experiments, non-professional economists were able to predict this result. Additional data suggests that our main findings can be explained by a combination of altruistic concerns and an aversion to viewing oneself as a thief, both of which increase with the material benefits of dishonesty. Honest behavior is a central feature of economic and social life. Without honesty, promises are broken, contracts gone enforced, taxes remain unpaid, and governments become corrupt. Such breaches of honesty are costly to individuals, organizations, and entire societies. For example, losses due to tax evasion in the United States are estimated in the hundreds of billions of dollars each year. And the cost of corruption and other illicit financial flows in developing countries has been estimated up to $1.3 trillion annually, an amount roughly equal in size to the gross domestic product of Australia. In this report, we examine how acts of civic honesty, where people voluntarily refrain from opportunistic behavior, are affected by monetary incentives to act otherwise, although there is robust experimental literature on the conditions that give rise to honest behavior. Little is known about how material incentives affect civic honesty, particularly in the field settings. Understanding the relationship between civic honesty and material incentives is not only practically relevant, but also theoretically important. Theories of honesty make different predictions about the role of material incentives. Classic economic models based on rational self-interest suggest that, all this being equal, honest behavior will become less common as the material incentives for dishonesty increase. Models of human behavior that incorporate altruistic or other regarding preferences also predict that the dishonesty will rise with increasing incentives, as self-interest virtually always dominates over concern for the welfare of others. We care about others, but not as much as we care about ourselves. As a result, self-interest will play an increasingly prominent role in behavior as the material incentives for dishonesty grow. Psychological models based on self-image maintenance predict the people will cheat for profit so long as their behavior does not require them to negatively update their self-concept. However, it isn't clear ante whether self-image concerns will become more or less important as the incentives for dishonesty increase, and also what form the relationship will take. A further complication is that most of the experimental literature on honest behavior involves modest financial stakes, as has been conduced to laboratory settings where people understand their behavior is being observed and tends to rely on population from Western, educated, industrialized, rich, and democratic societies. We conducted a series of large-scale field experiments across the globe to examine how financial incentives influence rates to civic honesty. We turned in lost wallets and experimentally varied the amount of money left in them, which allow us to determine how monetary stakes affect return rates across a broad sample of societies and institutions. Our experiments take inspiration from the classic lost letter studies, which examine behavior of naturalistic settings, but provide tighter experimental control than the past studies. We visit 355 cities in 40 countries and turned a total of 70,303 wallets. We typically targeted 5 of 8 of the largest cities in the country, with roughly 400 observations per country. Wallets were turned into one of 5 types of societal institutions. First, banks. Second, theaters, museums, or other cultural establishments. Third, post offices. 4, hotels. And 5, police stations, courts of law, and other public offices. These institutions serve as useful benchmarks because they are common across countries and typically have a public reception area where we could perform the drop-offs. Our wallets are transparent business card cases which we use to ensure that recipients could visually inspect without having to physically open the wallet. Figure S1. Figure S1. Share of wallets reported in no money and money condition by country. Left. Share of wallets reported in no money, 0, and money, $13.45 conditions by country. The amount of money in the wallets is adjusted according to each country's purchasing power. And the right average difference between money and no money conditions across quartiles based on absolute reporting rates, and in the no money conditions, error bars presented standard errors of the mean. Our key independent variable was whether the wallet contained money, which we randomly varied to hold either no money or $13.45 dollars, no money and money condition respectively. We used local currencies and to ensure comparability across countries, we adjusted the amount according to each country's purchasing power. Each wallet also contained 3 identical business cards, a grocery list, and a key. The business cards displayed to owner's name and email address, and we used fictitious but commonplace mail names for each country. Both the grocery list and the business cards were written in the country's local language to signal that the owner was resident. After walking into the building, one of our research assistants from a pool of 11 male and 2 female assistants approached an employee at the counter and said, "Hi, I found this," pointed to the wallets on the street around the corner. The research assistants then placed the wallet on the counter and passed it over the employee, saying, "Somebody must have lost it. I'm in a hurry and have to go. Can you please take care of it?" The assistants then exited the building without leaving contact details or requesting written proof of having turned in the wallets. Our key outcome measure was whether recipients contact the owner to return the wallet. We created a unique email addresses for each wallet and recorded emails that were sent within 100 days of the initial drop-offs. Complete methods and results, including additional robustness checks, such as testing for experimental effects, can be found in the supplementary material. As shown in the left in panel and figure 1, our cross-country experiments returned a remarkably consistent results. Citizens were overwhelmingly more likely to report lost wallets containing money than those without. We observed this pattern for 38 of our 40 countries, and in no country did we find a statistically significant decrease in reporting rates when the wallet contained money. On average, adding money to the wallet increased the likelihoods of being reported from 40% in the no money condition to 51% in the money condition, P minus 0.0001. This result holds when the controlling for a number of recipients and situation characteristics, table S8. Here there's no table S8. Furthermore, although rates of civic honesty vary substantially from country to country, the absolute increase in honesty across conditions was stable. As shown in the right panel of figure 1, the average treatment effect is roughly equal in size across quartiles, based on absolute reporting rates. Citizens display greater civic honesty when the wallets contain money, but perhaps this is because the amount was not large enough to be financially meaningful. To examine this possibility, we also ran a big money condition in 3 countries, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Poland, that increased the money inside the wallet to $94.15 or 7 times the amount of our original money conditions, as shown in figure 2. Here we have figure 2. Reporting rates as a function of monetary stakes. Share of wallet reported in no money, 0, money, 13.45, and big money, $94.15 conditions for Poland, United Kingdom, and the United States. As shown in figure 2, reporting rates in all 3 countries increased even further when the wallets contained a sizable amount of money. Pulled across 3 countries, reporting rates increased from 46% in the no-money condition to 61% in the money condition, and topped out at 72% in the big money condition, P minor 0.0001. In all pairwise comparisons, table S9. We next turned to the question of why people are especially likely to return a lost wallet when it contains more rather than less money. Our study designs allow us to rule out several possible explanations. We first explore the possibility that recipients were worried about legal penalties for failing to return a wallet, especially when the wallet contained larger amount of money. To address this issue, we examined whether relative reporting rates were affected by first, the presence of other individuals when receiving a lost wallet, second, the presence of security cameras in the building, and third, state-level variation in lost property laws in the United States. Civic honesty should increase as a function of these variables if recipients are concerned about possible punishment or the probability of detection, yet we find that none of these factors explain meaningful variations in reporting rates across treatment of conditions, tables S14 to 16. A second explanation is that because we only measure whether recipients report a lost wallet, recipients in the money condition may have been more likely to return their wallets while pocketing the cash. We conducted an audit in the subsets of wallets reported to us and did not find support for this explanation. More than 98% of the money in the wallets well collected was returned. A third possible explanation is that recipients expected a bigger finder's fee upon returning wallets with larger amount of money. In national representative surveys conducted in the United States, the United Kingdom, and Poland, we asked respondents what size of reward they would expect upon returning a wallet with the amounts of money we used in our studies. We failed to find evidence that people expect a larger reward for returning a wallet with more money in it. Table S70. Having ruled out these three possible explanations, we next formulate and test a simple behavioral model that captures the patterns of results researched in the data. Fund model's details can be found in the supplementary material. In our framework, civic honesty is determined by the interplay between four components. First, the economic payoff of keeping the wallet. Second, the fixed effort costs of contacting the wallet's owner. And the third, altruistic concerns for the owner's welfare. And fourth, the costs associated with negatively updating one's self-image as a thief. That what we call theft aversion. The key feature of our framework is that altruistic concerns are affected by the contents of the wallet through the thought to be valuable to the owner, whereas concerns of theft aversion are the only affected by the contents of the wallet that are also valuable to the recipients, example, money. To distinguish between these two motivations, we conducted a money no key condition in our US, UK, and Poland location, with wallets identical to our money condition, but which did not contain a key. Unlike money, the key is valuable to the owner, but not the recipient, and so any difference between the money and money no key condition can be ascribed to altruistic concern. As shown in table S10, recipients were on average 9.2% points more likely to report a wallet with a key than one without, P equal to 0.0001 when the results are pooled across countries. This suggests that recipients reported a lost wallet partly because they were concerned about the harm they would impose in the owners by not reporting it. The second part of our framework, which is crucial to explain the increase of reporting rates for wallets with larger amounts of money, involves the aversion of viewing oneself as a thief. Using national representative surveys conducted by the United States, the United Kingdom, and Poland, we asked respondents to imagine receiving a wallet from one of our four conditions: no money, money, big money, and money no key, and to rate the extent to which failing to return that wallet would feel like stealing on a scale from 0, not at all, to 10, very much. Respondents reported that failing to return a wallet will feel more like stealing when the wallet contained a modest amount of money than when it contained no money, and that such behavior will feel even more like stealing when the wallet contained a substantial amount of money. P minor or equal 0.007 for all pairwise comparison, table S11. This tells us that the self-image cost of failing to return the wallet likely increased with the amount of money in the wallet, which is consistent with our behavioral data on wallet reporting rates. By contrast, we fail to observe a reliable difference in the feel like stealing scores when comparing wallets that contained the same amount of money but differed in whether they also contain a key, money versus money no key, P equal 0.25 and 9. This tells us that concerns of that theft aversion are likely tied to contents that are valuable to the recipients, such as the amount of money inside the wallet, but not to other contents that are only valuable to the owner. Although survey respondents do not always generalize the real behavior and should be interpreted carefully. These findings are consistent with the hypothesis that larger monetary payoffs for dishonesty are also associated with increased psychological costs, and that the increase in psychological costs can outweigh the marginal economic benefits of dishonesty. In final sets of studies, we investigated whether people anticipate this from the civic honesty. We asked a sample of 299 participants to predict reporting rates in the United States for wallets containing 0, 13.45, and 94.15, corresponding to our no money, money, and big money conditions. To encourage accuracy, we noticed respondents that the most accurate amounts will be awarded a cash bonus, as shown in figure 3b. We find that respondents' beliefs were at odds with the behavioral data, figure 3.8. Here we have figure 3, actual versus predicted reporting rates. A. Actual reporting rates in the United States for each condition, n equal to A. 100 observations. Error bars represent robust standard errors. B. Average represent robust standard errors clustered by participants. And C. Average predicted reporting rates for the United States to our expert samples of academic economists, n equal 276 individuals. Error bars represent robust standard error clusters by participants. Respondents predicted that the rates of civic honesty would be highest when the wallet contained no money. Mean predicted reporting rate M equal to 73%, SD equal to 29. Lower when the wallet contained a modest amount of money, M equal to 75%, SD equal to 24. And lower still when the wallet contained a substantial amount of money, M equal to 55%, SD 29. The average predicted change in reporting rates for condition to conditions was significantly different from the actual change in reporting rates, P equal P minor to 0.001 for all the pairwise comparisons. As the amount of money increased, 64% of the respondents incorrectly predicted that the reporting rates would decrease, and 80% correctly predicted that the reporting rates will increase, P minus 0.001, by the sign test. Additional questioning suggests that respondents' predictions reflected a mental model of human behavior that exaggerates the roles of narrow self-interest. When the wallets contain more money, respondents expected self-interest to grow and altruistic concerns for the owner to fade, and they gave little way to the influence of thief aversion in reporting rates. See table S13. The general public incorrectly predicts how citizens will respond as the monetary value of the wallet increases, but perhaps professional economists will be more accurate. We asked a sample of 279 top-performing academic economists to make the same set of predictions. Like our non-experts, these samples also did not expect reporting rates to increase for wallets with larger amounts of money. As shown in figure 3c, respondents on average predicted that rates of civic honesty would be higher in the no-money and money conditions, M equal to 69%, SD equal to 25%, and M equal to 69%, SD equal to 21% respectively. Then the big money condition, M equal to 60%, SD equal to 23%. These predictions were again significantly different from the actual changes we observe across conditions, P equal to minor to 0.001 for all pairwise comparisons. However, the degree of miscalibration among economists was less severe than our non-expert samples. As the amount of money increased, 49% of economists incorrectly predicted that the reporting rates would increase, and 29% correctly predicted that reporting rates would increase, P minor 0.001, by a sign test. We conducted field experiments in 40 countries to examine whether people act more dishonestly when they have a greater economic incentive to do so, and we found the opposite to be true. Citizens were more likely to return wallets that contain relatively larger amounts of money. This finding is robust across countries and institutions and holds even when economic incentives for dishonesty are substantial. Our results are consistent with the theoretical models that incorporate altruism and self-image concerns, but they also suggest modification in the non-pecuniary motivations directly interact with the material benefits gained from the dishonest behavior. When people stand to heavily profit from engaging in dishonest behavior, the desire to cheat increases, but so do the psychological cost of viewing oneself as a thief, and sometimes a latter will dominate the former. Our findings also represent a distinctive data set for examining cross-country differences in civic honesty. Honesty is a key component of social capital, and here we provide an objective measure to supplement a large body of work that has traditionally examined social capital using subjective survey measures, using average reporting across countries, and find substantial variation in rates of civic honesty, ranging from 14 to 76%. This variation largely persists even when controlling for a country's gross domestic product, suggesting that other factors besides a country's wealth are also at play. In the supplementary materials, we provide an analysis suggesting that economically favorable geographic conditions, inclusive political institutions, national education, and cultural values that emphasize moral norms expanding beyond one's in-group are also possibly associated with rates of civic honesty. Future research is needed to identify how these and other factors may contribute to social differences in honest behavior.